because I've been inundated with so many people on this election, the Senate race, which not many people are turning out, by the way. And it's got one side really nervous. But in a few minutes, I'm going to announce I'm just going to let y'all know who I'm voting for. You can read into it whatever you want to. I did this before. Whoever wins this runoff, I'm supporting in the fall. I'm not doing like the Republicans do who beat each other up. And I'm going to get to that, too. This is going to just chill out. Stay with me. It's going to just ease into what I'm watching Republicans do in these closed primaries, and they're vicious and nasty. AI video that went out, I got comments on that as well. But I will tell you I'm going to vote for, and I'll tell you why. I'll be nicer. But whoever wins, whether it be Julia, Mr. Fleming, I will be supporting in the fall with no hesitation at all. So we got an election going on. Early voting is today, tomorrow, and Thursday because of Juneteenth, not Friday, and then on Saturday. And then a week from Saturday will be the election, which will be June 27th. So, look, I'm going to vote early. I'm going to vote today. Before I get and tell you how I'm going to vote, because I'm going to tell you how I'm going to vote. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to vote. I'm going to try to be as classy as I can, which sometimes that's hard for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, every time we come through these elections, when you got Republicans or people running and you're trying to pick between candidates, you got to make a decision. I got friends of mine that are on the other side, Joe, let's see how they react, but they don't not react at all. I did this when Ralph Abraham ran against Eddie Rispone. I went with Abraham because Rispone was running nasty, negative lies. And then I'm going to tell y'all why Republicans are beating up Republicans got to stop. But I'll tell you how I'm going to vote, tell you why in just a few minutes. But I did want to give you this out. Turnout volume plummeted yesterday. Total 60,035 is down 53% from the primary. In-person is down 50%, mail down 58%. My God. There's a poll out showing Fleming up. There's a poll out showing him real close. Alton Ashley, who's a gambling mega, and I know Alton went to school with him, went to college with him. Alton knows how to buy votes. And when he ran a poll, he said this thing's way closer than I thought it would be. Well, what's making people nervous is the turnout because nobody knows where those votes are coming from. It's not about how many people are going to go vote. It's now about getting your people to go vote. But the sad thing about this is the Republicans and some of this dark money, they beat up John Fleming so many times. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're saying. And I know there was an AI video, and he posted them. I'm going to get to that, too, because I said something years ago, and it's probably why Miss Julia has never come on my program except for the debate. I like Julia. I've been knowing Julia for a while. And I used to love Luke, too. I knew him. But I'm going to tell you, I'm voting for John Fleming. I have no problem telling somebody that. Now, if the other side gets mad, that's crazy because I just said if your candidate wins, I'm going to support you in the fall. I'm voting for Fleming, and I think I'm making the right vote. I want to tell you why I'm voting for Fleming. You can disagree. You can get mad. You can throw something at the deal. I got friends, money people that have played in this election, played on the dark money side. I know. I got a lot of respect for them. There are people that spend advertising with me left and right. But I always swore that if I do the right thing, it may not be the right thing financially, but it'd be the right thing. And I prayed about this, and I thought, you know what, this is absolutely ridiculous that this race has gotten like this. It's so bad, we ain't going to have 250,000 people go vote. And that's sad. So, look, I made a comment that I'm gonna vote. I'm voting for John Fleming. I vote for John Fleming because I think he's the best one for this job at this time. Okay, if Julia Letlow wins this race, I'll be voting for Julia Letlow in the fall. No problem. John Fleming has the experience. He's worked with the Trump administration. John Fleming will owe nobody nothing. The big money's always been against him. 90% of the dark money has went against Fleming. All the big power players went against Fleming. The CCS money is against Fleming. And John's conservative record as a congressman is probably better than almost every conservative Republican that's ever been in Congress, ever. But I'm telling you, Fleming has been right there, very consistent. And I'm looking at his voting record. His voting record has been excellent. Now, nobody has a perfect voting record, but his is as good. He's solid, the Freedom Caucus, all that stuff, the health forms, all that's a fact. And I'm voting with the guy that I think we can count on. It's not about even taking sides. All I'm saying is I'm voting for John Fleming. I think he gives us the best chance. Folks, when you go from 400,000 voters down to 200 or 250 or 200, whatever it's going to be, changes the dynamics of the race. And the reason I know there's changing because the advertisement is getting uglier and uglier and uglier about Fleming. I mean, if you keep watching the advertisement, he shot Reagan, he shot Trump. I mean, he went with Dr. Fauci. He wanted a shot and everything. None of that stuff is true. The lies that have been told on him, I said, well, maybe I need to vote for Fleming because Fleming looks like the right guy because all the negative dark money, even when Cassidy was in the race, the dark money was almost 90% was beaten up on John Fleming. And it's dark money. We don't know who gave the money. We don't know how much they spent. We don't know any of that. And he stood the test of time. And I just think it's time for John Fleming to be the next United States Senator. How nasty and mean these commercials are. To call somebody a liar and a fraud. But Julia can say, hey, y'all need to call this off. Y'all need to quit. But they say, well, all of them are not combined. Well, I know all the players. It's all the same thing. The dark money pack is tied into the campaign. It's all tied together. There's no way for them not to know. But calling people liars and frauds. So I'm going to vote against the dark money. That's another reason I'm voting. I think John's the right guy, but I think the dark money. Folks, if we step up and beat the dark money back, you send a message in Louisiana that we're not stupid, but we're tired of the BS. Y'all all say, oh, I hate negative advertising. How come the person that runs the most negative ad wins? Somebody explain that to me. Fleming don't have the money they had, but the people got a chance to vote in a low turnout, and this is why they're getting all nerve right now. This is why the commercials this week and next week will probably be as ugly and nasty as they've ever seen. I mean, they may tie him to the Oklahoma bombing. They might tie him to 9/11. They already did. They ran a commercial tying him to 9/11. They ran a commercial tying him to Dr. Fauci, quack's job when he was there fighting them. That's what you're voting for. This is what y'all ought to do. Listen. Here's all I'm saying is we have a choice. We got to make it now. I'm voting for him. I'm not voting against Julia. I'm voting for John Fleming. I'm a vote for the guy I think's getting absolutely slayed by the dark money. I'm really, really disappointed with the dark money that's running. And I know, look, the governor's involved and other people are involved, but the advertisement is over-the-top terrorism nasty to me. And I've had enough of it. But this dark money and nasty money and the CCS, this is what bothers me about this. So I love the oil and gas industry. I do. I'm always love it. But the stuff with carbon capture sequestration and the money with that, billions of dollars, is playing in this election. That frustrates the hell out of me. Here comes some more money, and that means big money walks. Big money talks, they do the walking and the talking, and everybody get out of our way or we're going to run the hell over you. And if you get in the way, in Fleming's case against the Q45, I'm against it too. I think it's one of the dumbest things I ever heard was carbon capture sequestration. We don't need the technology. It's a foolish technology. Nothing comes from it. Nothing's produced by it, but we got billions coming from the federal government. Just follow the money, folks. Follow the money. And so what the people do is they sit there and go, golly, I'm going to vote for so-and-so. I guess that dude's a fraud. They do no homework. They don't look at anything. Now the gov and some of these people are pushing all this fraud. Look what they're doing. They're beating up Republicans. This has always been funny. So Cassidy starts off running ads against Letlow with DEI and stock trading, okay? And like, well, look, man, this is going to be great because Letlow's team and the dark money's going to turn on Cassidy. Y'all never saw that in the last election, did you? Why was there never much dark money popping Bill Cassidy? Matter of fact, they wouldn't even run it. I had a debate here. I had to ask them, why aren't y'all talking about Cassidy? Because that little team, and by the way, and the dark money they decided we're gonna rip Fleming's head off. We're gonna bury him. This is a Republican primary. Y'all can get mad at me for saying, oh, I'm going to vote for, but I'm not involved in all this nasty money beating a Republican up, and one got money and one doesn't have as much money, so that one gets to beat the other one and run them into the ground. And think about this. You got Republicans that beating the hell out of each other. It ain't even each other on this case. They're actually just going after one. They've gone after one. They're going after Fleming. The attack on Fleming with this dark money has just riled me to no end. There's nothing I can do about it. The only thing I'm telling people how I'm voting. That's it. I'll just say this with Miss Julia. This is a fact. Julia Letlow, who, by the way, I think is a very nice person. I do. She's been a congressperson, a congressman. I mean, I hadn't really looked at her record a whole lot because they wouldn't come on. I didn't bother with her. But I'll tell you this. Julia Letlow, Congresswoman Julia Letlow, never gets in a Senate race without the endorsement of Donald Trump. She's not even close to it. Every one of them, including Cassidy, wanted the endorsement. But they were staying in the race. Okay, they were in the race anyway without the endorsement. Julia got in a race because of the Donald Trump endorsement. Period. She's not even in the race. Now, you got to ask that, is that an issue? I love Donald Trump. The endorsement process was something behind the scenes that we're never going to know the total truth. I know everybody accused the governor. Governor was behind it. Governor's helping raise all this money. I get all that. But there's a lot more to it than went probably behind the scenes. But the fact of the matter is that she's not in the race if she's not endorsed by Trump. She's not. Now, anybody gets mad at that, I don't care, because what I said was an honest truth. She never gets in a race without the endorsement. It was just pointed out to me by somebody that knows it a lot better than me. He says the numbers could get worse. Look for the ads to get worse. And I'm going to go vote today. I will go vote in the rain. I'm going to talk about something real quick, and somebody can get their feelings hurt. I saw the spat between Fleming and Letlow on the AI video. They mentioned Julia's husband, who, as you know, passed away. He had just won Congress. And it's a shame Luke didn't get to serve, but more importantly, it's a shame that Luke passed away. And I created version that Fleming had nothing to do with, but he posted it. And boy, they have freaked out on that. Because one of the things in there, an AI version. Now remember, AI is here to stay. It said, I'm aiming to become University of Louisiana president when my poor husband died and I was appointed to the congressional seat. But Fleming posted it, and when they said you need to take it down, and here comes Steve Scalise, here comes Higgins, here comes all these, Jeff Landry, all of them freaking out. Now, one of them said they ought to quit running advertisement against Fleming, calling him a liar and a fraud. Not one time did they ever stand up and do that. Why? All that stuff's a lie. Not one time. And so Fleming said, I'm not taking it down when they take down the dishonest and nasty ads. And they are dishonest and nasty as hell, but they never said a word about that. But this is what AI is going to look like up the road. We ain't seen nothing yet. Scalise is saying something. Of course, they all claim to know Luke. I knew Luke, too. Landry says there's lines you simply shouldn't be crossed. Really? What are they? I would like to know from the governor and everybody else, what are the lines that we're not going to cross anymore? Calling somebody part of the 9/11 bombing that they've done with Fleming, is that crossing the... Almost said something wrong there, folks. Is that crossing the line? Where's the line at, Jeff? Where's the line at, Steve Scalise? Where's the line at, Mr. Higgins? Tell me where the line's at. I voted for, well, I didn't vote for Scalise, but I voted for the other two multiple times. Where's the line? Y'all tell me where the line is, because it seemed like y'all let the dog money on Fleming. There is no line. He's 9/11. He's part of the Fauci's shots and vaccines. And where's the line at, guys? Since y'all seem to be smarter than God, where's the line, Steve? Where's the line, Clay? Where's the line, Jeff? Where's the line so we know where the dang line is at? Because I want to know where the line's at. So they put out an AI video. I wouldn't have put something like that out. That's where people are going to get mad at me, but I'm okay. When Julia Letlow, I didn't know Julia. When Luke died, that was devastating. I said this on the air. Nobody said one thing. I said, if I was Julia, I wouldn't run. I'd take care of my kids. Julia Letlow's a smart lady. She's an educated person. When she ran, I said she ought to not run, and the people that are helping her run ought to be ashamed of themselves because they're getting ready to buy a congressman and use her. And it was a sympathetic vote, and nobody ran against her, and she's run 3 times with nobody running against her. Okay? Now, that's a fact. That's what happened in that race. Some people got behind and said, look, we already got the name, we got everything going. Nobody ran against her. And she's won easily. So when it came to the Senate race, she was not going to get into this race without the Trump endorsement. And the Trump endorsement is what's helped Julia get to where she's at today. Now, I got to give it to her. To get the Trump endorsement took a lot, I'm sure. But family members, when you do AI, folks, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get worse. We're going to just rip people's head off with AI. People ain't going to know what to believe, and that's what's happening. John Fleming on a school bus was AI. Statement for Fleming talking about illegals. And when he said it, he said, yeah, we're going to let these illegals bust. And he said, oh, my bad. And they laughed and he changed it. They run that as a spot. They cut off what he said after. Is that drawing the line, guys? When Steve Scalise, and put him on my program, all three of them can sit here. I'm ready to talk to him about where we're going to draw the line at, because they're running commercials with him on a school bus, and they're running commercials with him saying, oh, I'm going to let illegals come across, but they didn't let him finish. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean illegals. Legal immigrants. And they cut that out, and they put it on there. Is that drawing a line, guys? But that's different. It's not different. It's the same thing. I'm telling y'all, the reason I talked about, I wanted to tell people I was going to vote. Because you can vote too. We got to make a decision. We got two candidates. You got to make a decision who you're going to vote for or against, however you want to do it. I'm voting for the conservative in the race. I believe that in all my heart. And if he gets beat, I'm with Julia Letlow. Miss Julia's life changed totally when she lost her beloved husband. And she is going to marry a lobbyist who's in the CCS. That's a fact. That's not family. That's a fact. It's where you at with CCS. Some people love it because there's so much money coming in. I think when CCS finally comes in, you're going to see very few people made zillions of dollars and most people didn't get nothing. That's what I'm predicting.